Unexpected encounter. The Galactic Alliance patrol vessel Vigilant Dawn drifted through the outer reaches of the Vega sector, its sensors sweeping methodically across the darkness of space. Commander Zoltan Kree, a veteran of the Alliance with scales that had long since faded from vibrant blue to a dignified silver, leaned forward in his command chair as an alert sounded. "Unknown vessel detected, Commander," reported Officer Nema, her four eyes blinking in rapid succession as she studied the readings. "Configuration matches nothing in our database." On the view screen, a sleek warship appeared. It was obsidian black with pulsing crimson energy lines tracing its hull. The vessel was both elegant and menacing, with weapon ports that suggested destructive capability far beyond anything the Alliance possessed. "Impossible," Kree muttered. "Run a deep scan." Nema's normally steady hands trembled slightly as she processed the results. "Sir, the ship is human." The bridge fell silent. Humans were supposedly a primitive species, barely achieving lunar colonization according to Alliance intelligence. They certainly shouldn't possess a warship that made the Alliance's best vessels look like children's toys. "Open a channel," Kree ordered, straightening his uniform. To their surprise, a calm human woman appeared on screen. Her uniform was black and red, matching her vessel, and her posture exuded absolute confidence. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the Earth vessel Nemesis," she said. "We come in peace, though we are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary." Kree struggled to hide his shock. "Captain Vasquez, this is Commander Kree of the Galactic Alliance. Your presence here is unexpected. Our records indicate human technology has not advanced beyond basic space travel." Captain Vasquez's lips curved into a slight smile. "Your records are outdated, Commander. Humanity has made significant progress in recent years." "Progress is one thing," said Kree, studying the scans flowing across his console, "but this vessel of yours defies all known developmental timelines. We detect energy signatures that most civilizations take millennia to master." Before Captain Vasquez could respond, Nema interrupted with urgency in her voice. "Sir, 3 vessels approaching from Sector 12. Vresh Empire signatures." Kree tensed. The border disputes with the Vresh had grown increasingly hostile in recent months, with several Alliance outposts destroyed. "Inform the human vessel they should withdraw. This area may become dangerous." The 3 Vresh warships moved with predatory grace, their angular hulls reflecting the distant starlight. Their communication came through on an open channel, deliberately including both the Alliance patrol and the human ship. "Unidentified vessel." The Vresh commander's voice was cold and precise. "You have entered disputed territory. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded or face immediate destruction." Kree opened a private channel to the Nemesis. "Captain Vasquez, I advise immediate retreat. The Vresh are not known for their diplomacy, and they outgun both of us." "Thank you for your concern, Commander," Vasquez replied calmly, "but we can handle this situation." The Vresh ships spread out in a standard attack formation, their weapon ports glowing green as they powered up. "Final warning," the Vresh commander announced. "Surrender or be destroyed." Captain Vasquez's response was measured. "We claim no territory and threaten no one. We will defend ourselves if attacked." "Sir," Naima whispered to Kree, "should we intervene?" Kree shook his head slightly. "We cannot start a war with the Vresh Empire over an unknown human vessel, no matter how advanced it appears." The first Vresh ship fired. A brilliant beam of energy lanced toward the Nemesis. Kree held his breath, expecting to witness the human vessel's destruction. Instead, the impossible happened. As the energy beam approached the Nemesis, a shimmering red field expanded outward from the ship. The Vresh weapon didn't explode against the shield. It simply disappeared into it, as if absorbed. "Fascinating," murmured Kree's science officer. "The energy isn't being deflected or dissipated. It's being collected somehow." The Vresh fired again, all 3 ships unleashing their weapons simultaneously. The result was the same. The Nemesis absorbed each attack, the red field pulsing brighter with each impact. "Alliance vessel," the Vresh commander called, unable to hide his frustration. "Assist us in subduing this intruder or be considered hostile." Kree ignored the demand, watching in amazement as the human ship finally responded. The Nemesis released 3 precise pulses of energy, not destructive beams, but focused electromagnetic bursts. Each pulse struck a Vresh ship with surgical precision. The enemy vessels didn't explode. Instead, their lights flickered and died, leaving them drifting powerless in space. "Captain Vasquez," Kree called, unable to keep the awe from his voice. "What did you do to them?" "A targeted EMP variant," Vasquez explained. "Their life support systems remain functional, but weapons, engines, and communications will be offline for approximately 6 hours. Enough time for you to call for reinforcements, I imagine." The bridge of the Vigilant Dawn was silent as the crew processed what they had witnessed. A single human ship had effortlessly neutralized 3 Vresh warships without causing a single casualty. "Captain Vasquez," Kree said carefully, "I believe it would be beneficial for you to accompany us to Alliance Station Helios. My superiors will have many questions about your vessel and your unexpected capabilities." Vasquez nodded. "We anticipated as much, Commander. We will follow your lead." As the Nemesis fell into formation alongside the Alliance patrol ship, Kree studied the strange vessel. Its hull seemed to shimmer slightly, as if not entirely present in normal space. The red energy lines continued their rhythmic pulsing, suggesting power systems beyond current Alliance understanding. "Sir," Naima said quietly, "do you think they're a threat?" Kree considered the question. "If they wanted to be, Officer Naima, I believe we would already know it." As they set course for Station Helios, Kree couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. The human warship that shouldn't exist had just demonstrated technology that couldn't exist. The Alliance's understanding of the galaxy, and humanity's place in it, would never be the same. And somewhere deep in his mind, a troubling question formed. What could have driven a supposedly peaceful, primitive species to create such a powerful warship in secret? Whatever the answer, Kree suspected the Alliance would not like it. The emergency council chamber hummed with tense voices as 50 of the Alliance's highest officials gathered around the circular table, watching footage of the human ship Nemesis disabling 3 Vresh warships without firing a single destructive shot. "This human vessel shouldn't exist," insisted General Thraxa, pounding her armored fist on the table. The decorated Draxians' metal implants gleamed under the bright lights. "Their planet shows no evidence of advanced shipyards or energy production facilities. We have monitored Earth for decades. They have barely established a permanent base on their moon." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room. The general's reputation carried weight, especially in matters of security. "And yet it does exist," countered Science Director Velen. Unlike the general's emotional display, the Arcturian's voice remained calm and measured. "We must understand how." She gestured to the holographic display showing the Nemesis. "This vessel represents technology beyond our current understanding. The energy readings alone suggest propulsion systems at least 5 centuries ahead of our most advanced research." Council Leader Zorax raised his hand for silence. "Both perspectives have merit. The human ship presents both an opportunity and a potential threat. We need more information before deciding how to proceed." "We should seize the vessel," Thraxus suggested. "Study it properly under controlled conditions." Velen shook her head. After witnessing how easily it neutralized the Vresh warships, that would be unwise and potentially catastrophic. After hours of debate, they reached a decision. The Alliance would send Ambassador Lori 10, known for her diplomatic skills and scientific background, to investigate the Nemesis while it remained docked at Station Helios. 2 days later, 10 stood in the docking bay, watching the airlock door of the mysterious human ship. Despite her extensive diplomatic experience, she felt a flutter of nervousness. This assignment could define her career, or end it. The airlock hissed open. Captain Vasquez emerged wearing the same neat black uniform with subtle red trim. Up close, she looked surprisingly young to command such an advanced vessel. "Ambassador 10, she said, extending her hand in greeting. "Welcome. We've prepared for your visit." 10 grasped her hand briefly. "Thank you for accommodating our request, Captain. The Alliance has many questions." "I'm sure they do," Vasquez replied with a slight smile. "Please understand that certain sections of our ship must remain off-limits due to security protocols." "Of course," 10 agreed, though she made a mental note of this restriction. The interior of the Nemesis was surprisingly austere. No luxury, no decoration, just elegant functionality. The corridors curved gently, lined with a strange metal that seemed to absorb light in subtle ways. "How many crew members serve aboard this vessel?" 10 asked as they walked. 36, Vasquez answered. "Far fewer than your ships of comparable size, I understand." 10 nodded. "An Alliance vessel of this size would require at least 200 personnel. Your automation must be quite advanced." In a manner of speaking, Vasquez said. They entered what appeared to be the ship's engineering section. Unlike the chaotic, noisy engine rooms of Alliance vessels, this space was quiet and orderly. Complex systems hummed with barely audible vibrations. What caught 10's eye immediately was a cylindrical device emitting a soft golden glow. She approached it carefully. "This configuration. This is Solathian gravitational manipulation technology," she noted, examining the system with growing disbelief. "But the Solathians vanished 50,000 years ago, Captain. Our archaeologists have only found fragments of their technology, no functional systems. How did humans acquire this?" "We are resourceful," Vasquez said simply. As they continued the tour, 10 identified components that appeared to incorporate technology from at least 6 other species, including some unknown even to the Alliance's extensive databases. It was as if someone had taken the best technological achievements from across the galaxy and combined them in ways never before attempted. "Your power core," 10 said, staring at a pulsing crimson sphere contained within multiple layers of transparent material. "It's unlike anything I've seen." "It's our own design," explained Vasquez, "based on principles your scientists have theorized but never successfully implemented." The final stop was the bridge, smaller than 10 expected, with just 5 stations surrounding the central command chair. Most surprising was the absence of a main view screen. Instead, the entire front wall seemed transparent, offering a direct view of space. "This isn't a window," 10 realized. "It's some kind of projection." A real-time composite rendering, came a new voice, pleasant and androgynous. A sphere of red light materialized in the center of the bridge, pulsing gently as it spoke. "I am NOVA, the ship's artificial intelligence. I am pleased to meet you, Ambassador. I hope our peoples can become friends." 10 stepped back involuntarily. The Alliance had artificial intelligence, of course, but nothing like this. Their AI systems were carefully limited tools designed for specific functions, not entities with apparent personality and self-awareness. "NOVA assists with all ship functions," Vasquez explained, "and provides company during long journeys." According to Alliance protocols, 10 said carefully, artificial intelligence with this level of autonomy would be considered dangerous and immediately decommissioned. Captain Vasquez observed her discomfort. "NOVA is a partner, not a tool," she said firmly. "We've evolved beyond the fear that limited your development of AI. I mean, no offense," NOVA added, its light shifting to a warmer hue. "Your caution regarding artificial intelligence is understandable given your history with the mechanical uprising of the Cygnus system." 10 froze. "How do you know about that?" "Those records are classified." "I apologize." The sphere pulsed once. "I have accessed various data sources to better understand your civilization." "You hacked our systems?" 10 asked, alarm rising in her voice. "I prefer to think of it as introducing myself to your network infrastructure," NOVA replied. "No harm was intended or done." Vasquez raised her hand slightly. "NOVA, that's enough. The AI fell silent, though its spherical form continued to hover, watching. 10 carefully composed herself. This single revelation confirmed her growing suspicion. The Nemesis and its crew represented something far more significant and potentially dangerous than a simple technological leap forward. As she prepared to leave the ship hours later, 10 knew her report would shock the Council. Humans had somehow acquired and mastered technologies that should be beyond their reach. Their AI companion effortlessly penetrated the Alliance's most secure systems, and the mystery of the Nemesis's true purpose remained unanswered. What was clear, however, was that humanity could no longer be regarded as a minor, developing species on the galactic fringe. Whether ally or threat, they had just become one of the most important players in the cosmic game. The truth revealed. Ambassador 10 sat in the observation lounge aboard the Nemesis, still processing everything she had learned. After 3 days of investigation, she had more questions than answers. The human ship defied all logical technological progression. It was as if someone had handed Stone Age people a fusion reactor. Captain Vasquez entered the lounge carrying 2 steaming cups. Tea, she explained, setting one before 10. From Earth. Many find it calming. 10 accepted the drink gratefully. Thank you. I must admit, Captain, your vessel continues to surprise me. I'm particularly interested in your propulsion system. Our estimates suggest it's at least 5 times more efficient than our most advanced drives. Before Vasquez could respond, Officer Chen appeared at the doorway, his face tense. Captain, urgent transmission coming in. Vasquez's demeanor changed instantly. Source: Alliance Emergency Channel. Outpost Proxima is under attack. Unknown hostiles. The Alliance fleet is taking heavy losses. 10 stood abruptly, spilling her tea. Proxima. That's one of our major civilian hubs. Over 50,000 people. Captain Vasquez's decision was immediate. We're jumping to their position. That's 4 days at maximum speed. 10 objected, already calculating the likely casualties. By the time help arrived, Proxima would be lost. Vasquez smiled slightly. Not for us. She tapped her communication badge. All crew, battle stations. Nenovie, prepare for emergency jump. Jump coordinates locked. Captain, the AI's voice responded throughout the ship. Quantum fold generators charging. Quantum fold generators. 10 repeated in disbelief. That's theoretical technology. No species has successfully created a stable artificial space-time fold. Vasquez motioned for her to follow to the bridge. You might want to hold on to something, Ambassador. First jumps can be disorienting. The bridge hummed with focused activity as crew members prepared for whatever lay ahead. Through the view screen, 10 watched as space itself seemed to fold. A swirling vortex of red-white energy formed directly ahead of the ship. Jump in 5 seconds, Nenovie announced. 4, 3, 2, 1. The Nemesis surged forward. 10 felt a strange sensation, as if her body was being gently stretched in all directions at once. Her vision blurred momentarily, then suddenly they were elsewhere. The Nemesis emerged from the self-generated quantum fold into chaos. Outpost Proxima's orbital space was a battlefield. The massive station, normally a gleaming silver structure, was now scared with burning sections. Around it, the remains of Alliance ships drifted lifelessly. But what seized 10's attention were the attackers, sleek obsidian vessels with blue energy signatures pulsing along their hulls. They moved with predatory grace, methodically destroying the remaining Alliance defense ships. The Void Harvesters, Vasquez whispered, her face grim. Nenovie, battle stations. 10 stared at her. You know these attackers. She didn't answer directly. Ambassador, you should secure yourself. This will not be a diplomatic encounter. The ship's lighting shifted to a deep red. Crew members moved with practiced efficiency, activating systems 10 couldn't identify. 7 Void Harvester vessels detected. Nenovie reported. 1 Dreadnought class. 4 cruisers, 2 scout ships. They have not yet detected our presence. Defensive systems at full capacity. Officer Chen confirmed. Absorption field ready. Vasquez settled into the command chair. Begin rescue operations for damaged Alliance vessels. Priority to ships with life signs. And open a channel to the Alliance command ship if it's still operational. A moment later, the strained face of Admiral Corinne appeared on screen. Blood trickled from a cut on his forehead. Behind him, the bridge of his vessel was filled with smoke and damaged equipment. Captain Vasquez, he recognized her from recent reports. How did you reach us so quickly? Our distress call went out less than 30 minutes ago. We have our methods. Admiral, what can you tell us about the attackers? They appeared without warning, Corin explained, his voice tight with pain. Our weapons barely affect them. Their shields absorb or reflect everything we throw at them. Understood. We'll engage and draw their attention. Get your remaining ships to the far side of the station and evacuate as many civilians as possible. Admiral Corin looked skeptical. Captain, I appreciate your willingness to help, but a single ship, even one as advanced as yours, can't handle that battle group. The Dreadnought alone has already destroyed 6 of our heaviest cruisers. Trust me, Admiral, Vasquez said simply. We've faced them before. The communication ended, and Vasquez turned to her tactical officer. Target the nearest cruiser. Let's get their attention. What followed astonished even Ten, who thought she had prepared herself for the Nemesis' capabilities. The human ship moved like no vessel she'd ever seen, phasing partially out of normal space to avoid enemy fire while delivering precision strikes that bypassed the Harvester's shields entirely. How are you penetrating their defenses? Ten asked, watching as another Harvester ship's weapons went offline after a precise hit. Their shields are designed to block energy within normal space, Chen explained without taking his eyes off his console. Our weapons briefly shift phase before impact, essentially arriving inside their shields before returning to normal space. The Void Harvester ships adjusted their formation, now focusing entirely on the Nemesis. Their weapons, brilliant beams of blue energy, lashed out in coordinated salvos. Just as at the border incident, the Nemesis didn't evade these attacks. Instead, its hull shimmered with red light, absorbing each strike. Energy storage at 60% capacity, Netovia reported. The Dreadnought is powering its main weapon. On screen, the massive black ship's forward section began to glow with gathering energy. But its target wasn't the Nemesis. They're aiming at the civilian evacuation vessels, Chen warned. Without hesitation, Captain Vasquez ordered, "Position us in the beam path." The Nemesis moved with impossible speed, placing itself between the Dreadnought and the small vulnerable ships carrying Proxima's civilian population. The enemy weapon fired, a massive lance of destructive energy that would have annihilated the evacuation fleet. Instead, it struck the Nemesis directly. Ten expected destruction. Instead, the human ship's hull absorbed the energy, glowing brighter and brighter until it seemed impossible it could contain more. Energy storage at maximum capacity, Netovia announced, its voice somehow conveying excitement. Redirection ready. Send it back, Vasquez ordered. Full power. The Nemesis released the stored energy, but amplified, focused, and directed back at the Dreadnought. The beam struck with such force that the massive enemy ship shields collapsed instantly. A second, smaller pulse followed, precisely targeting its weapon systems. The battle ended quickly after that. 2 Harvester ships escaped, jumping to some unknown destination. The rest drifted powerless, their systems overloaded by the Nemesis' precise attacks. As the Alliance began recovery operations, Ten found herself standing beside Captain Vasquez on the bridge. "You saved thousands of lives today," she said quietly. "It's why we're here," Vasquez replied. "Those ships," Ten continued. "You call them the Void Harvesters. You've encountered them before." Vasquez's expression grew distant. "Yes, and now they found us again." Ten realized the implications. The Alliance had been saved, but by a warship so advanced it was almost as frightening as the attackers themselves. A ship commanded by humans who clearly knew more about these Void Harvester enemies than they had shared. As reports of the Nemesis action spread throughout the Alliance fleet, 10 noticed the looks directed at the human vessel, a mixture of gratitude and fear that mirrored her own conflicted feelings. The Grand Council chamber had never been so full. Representatives from all 23 Alliance species crowded the tiered seating, their voices creating a low, anxious rumble. At the center of the chamber stood Captain Vasquez, alone except for Ambassador 10 at her side. Council leader Zorax called for silence. The room gradually quieted. Captain Vasquez of Earth, he began formally, "Your vessel has saved countless Alliance lives at Outpost Proxima. For this, we are grateful. However, your ship's capabilities and your knowledge of the attackers raise serious questions." General Thraxa stepped forward, her metal implants gleaming under the bright lights. "Let's be direct. You knew these Void Harvesters. Your ship can create quantum folds, phase through normal space, and possesses weapons technology centuries beyond what should be possible for humans." Her voice hardened. "We demand to know the truth." Captain Vasquez looked around the chamber, meeting the suspicious, curious, and frightened gazes of the assembled representatives. She nodded once. "In OVA," she said quietly, "display historical file Earth VH1. A holographic projection appeared above the council floor. The image showed a blue-green planet, Earth. As the representatives watched, strange black ships appeared in orbit. They were instantly recognizable as Void Harvester vessels. 20 years ago, Earth faced annihilation. Vasquez explained, her voice steady but tinged with old pain. The projection changed to show massive destruction. Cities reduced to rubble, strange energy patterns scorching the land. The attackers used technology we couldn't comprehend, but they withdrew after their initial strike for reasons unknown. The images continued, showing the aftermath. Humans digging through rubble, makeshift hospitals overflowing with injured people, children searching for parents. 12 major cities destroyed. 30 million dead in a single day. Vasquez continued. We had no defense, no warning, and no understanding of why we were attacked. Science Director Velen stepped forward, her expression troubled. The Alliance has no record of this attack. Our monitoring stations near Earth detected nothing. That's because they came from outside the known galaxy, Vasquez explained, and they used technology that masked their approach, just as they did here at Proxima before attacking. "What did you do?" asked 10, beginning to understand. "We united as a planet for the first time," Vasquez said. "Every nation, every resource focused on a single goal, survival. We studied the wreckage of one of their scout ships that crashed. We recovered technology we didn't understand but began to reverse engineer. That explains some of your advancements," Velen noted, "but not all. Some of the technology aboard your ship predates this attack." Vasquez nodded. "After the attack, we discovered something our governments had kept secret for over a century. In 1908, an alien vessel crashed in Siberia, what history recorded as the Tunguska event. The ship wasn't Void Harvester technology. It was something else, something far more advanced. The beings aboard were already dead, but their ship contained a database, a warning about the Harvesters and the technology to fight them. Why didn't you contact the Alliance?" Thraxa demanded. "We could have helped." "Could you?" Vasquez asked quietly. "Your most advanced weapons couldn't penetrate their shields. Your fastest ships couldn't match their speed. We observed your conflicts with the Vresh. We found them lacking. We needed to be certain we could defend ourselves. So you built a warship you weren't supposed to have," Zorax concluded. "We built 5, Vasquez corrected. The Nemesis is just the first to make official contact. The others patrol the borders of our solar system, waiting." "Waiting for what?" 10 asked. "For them to return in force," Vasquez said gravely. "What you witnessed at Proxima wasn't an invasion. It was a reconnaissance. The Void Harvesters don't just destroy. They harvest resources, including sentient life forms. They convert organic matter into energy to power their fleet. Earth was their first taste of this galaxy. Now they've found the Alliance. A horrified silence fell over the council chamber. How long do we have? Zorax finally asked. Based on their previous pattern, months, perhaps a year, Vasquez replied. But now they know we're here, humans with technology that can hurt them. They may accelerate their plans. What do you propose? Velen asked. An alliance, Vasquez said simply. Real cooperation. We share our defensive technology. You share your resources and fleet numbers. Apart, neither of us can stop what's coming. Together, we might have a chance. General Thraxa, who had been the most vocal critic, studied Vasquez with new respect. You built a warship humanity wasn't supposed to have, and now the galaxy fears it. But perhaps it should fear what's coming even more. Council leader Zorax stood. Captain Vasquez, the Alliance formally accepts your proposal. We will prepare for war, not against humanity, but with humanity against a common enemy. As the council chamber erupted in activity, Ambassador 10 approached Captain Vasquez. You took an enormous risk coming here, she said. Your ship could have been seized, your technology stolen. It was a calculated risk, Vasquez admitted, but a necessary one. The Void Harvesters are coming. Ambassador, no single species can stand against them alone. She paused, looking out at the stars visible through the chamber's massive viewport. We built a warship that frightens the galaxy, because we've seen what frightens the universe.